Hello friends, welcome to the next edition of Pro Tips from the Icebox. This is your host Scott Casella. Today we're going to move forward with the list. I'm going to make a slight change to the list, which we'll talk about in a minute. The segments we're going to be doing today is the gear segment, which is just randomly named gear. I'm also going to get into the toilet kit section. This is a personal toilet kit that you'll take when it's time to use the groover. And we're also going to get into the groups toilet and groover section. So finish your coffee and grab a seat. We're taking a look at it.
Grand Canyon, Colorado River.
I have upgraded my earlier lists to this new list. I'm making changes as I'm doing this series, so you'll have that at this point. Let's see. In the gear section, first thing is the dead blow hammer. Obviously, you can use that for your sand stake and your tent stakes.
Of different stakes. Definitely have that as an option. And your hammer, you can smash your beer cans to get them super thin.
All right, I'm going to recommend you bring both a Crazy Creek chair, which is really nice for just sitting on the boat. Actually, if your passenger is just lounging on a cooler or something, the Crazy Creek works very well. And at camp, and if it's your hunker down weather, the Crazy Creek inside of the Megalight. Also, bring a regular sized camp chair for around the fire, and if it's sunny and you're using the roll table. That little clear plastic bag I brought out and contains the water purification, the Aquamarina AB H2O water treatment. Strongly recommend that. There you go. Headlamps. It's a pretty straightforward requirement. I would bring two headlamps. I've got one that I just pulled out, and I have a second headlamp. My emergency headlamp is in my one of my dry boxes. These two things I've got here, I just bought these on Amazon. These are just like LED light things. They can go just regular white. I'm still learning about them, but I'm going to use one of those for my camp kitchen. I might keep one in the dry box or my tent. I don't know. And I got my headlamp there. Anyway, they're small, they're light, and they're cheap now, so that's what I'm using for lights. Checking those out. I've got my ham radio that I'm bringing here. I'm FCC license, Kilo Golf 7 Golf Whiskey Lima. I have my ham radio set to the Canyon emergency flight frequency of 121.50 megahertz. That's on the information that you get. So I can also use that ham radio. I have it programmed in to listen to NOAA radio stations, and there's several spots on the trip I can get the weather report, which is nice. And then, of course, if I ever was actually involved in an emergency, I have the ability to communicate. That 121.5 is the band plan for the helicopters if they were coming in, so you could talk to them. I'm also carrying an EPIRB. I've got a little personal locator beacon. Strongly recommend that. GoPro I'm using to record this. Wide brim hat I just threw down. I lose my wide brim hat every year on the canyon, but bring a wide brim hat, and then I bring a ball cap too. I've got that fun ball cap with the lights. I don't know, I'm bringing two this year. On hats, keep going with hats. You need a warm hat, and I'm going to bring more than one warm hat. I've got my grandma knit that brown and yellow hat. I love that. And I'm also bringing this super woolly warm hat, and if it just gets freezing cold, especially up north to put in, I'll wear that hat. All right, backpack. Bring a nice backpack, because if you have Labor Days and you're doing treks out into the woods, or into the desert, you can end up spending hours and hours in the backcountry. So bring a backpack. I would recommend not just a little day pack, but a nice proper backpack. In my pack, as I'm pulling out here, I have an emergency blanket, always in the backpack. I have a rain fly, always in the backpack. I have some fire starter kit, always in the backpack. And that little plastic bag has an emergency, some TP in there, just in case. Also, you saw I have my Camelback bladder in there. Definitely bring your Camelback. I'm going into my PFD to pull out my sun block. I'm using a physical block. My dermatologist recommended that. I've also got a baby lotion sunscreen in there. And the last thing I'm going to pull out is my Leatherman tool. I actually have two multi-tools. I have a proper name brand Leatherman, and then I have an off-brand spare multi-tool in my toolkit. And that represents the end of what I have listed on the gear section. In a moment, we're going to hop into the group toilet and then into the personal toilet kit. On the group toilet known as the Groover by the river community, I am part of a trip this year. We almost always outsource the ammo boxes. There are companies in the area that you can rent the full-size boxes and they take them at the end. I'd recommend doing that. They often include septic enzymes for the things, and you can get a fuel ball for an outboard engine and zip tie it to a board to keep it out of the sand, some hosing, 2 buckets. In the bucket with the water that you're drawing from, put a cap full of bleach in. The other bucket is to catch the water because you're in the desert. Grab camp soap. Camp soap's a biodegradable soap, so that way when you throw this all into the river, it's not a problem. You've already got bleach on your hands and you've washed your hands. As a fail-safe, use some hand sanitizer, squirt at the end, and that is how the Brian Burns groups managed to not get sick. So here I've built a little kit for myself, and that one is coming down the river. Lastly, we're going to look at the toilet kit, the personal toilet kit. I like to have a little canvas bag and keep these following items in one little tidy area, and that's my morning kit when I make the walk. So single ply toilet paper is how we roll. That really saves space in the groover itself. Surprisingly, a roll and a half is enough for one person for 30 days. And I will bring 3 rolls in case I lose one to water, or in case someone else forgets one, or in case I do happen to get sick, I want to have extra toilet paper. So 3 rolls is more than twice what I need for myself. I'm also including some wet wipes. I grabbed some wet wipes out of a package, and I put those in a little Ziploc in there. I don't need the whole thing. I only need a few of those wet wipes. And I also include baby powder. I bought the Gold Bonds. I was going to bring that. I decided against it. I'm just using regular baby powder. Those 3 items in my little toilet kit will keep me fresh and enjoying my time.